Okay, hey there Facebook, just shut this door. Hopefully I'm coming out live. Let me just wait a second. Let me just adjust this a little bit. Okay, I'll wait to see if anybody joins me to let me know that my audio is coming out. Good boy. Oh, good boy. Are you good? You smell the treats? Yeah, look. Good boy. Oh, come here. Okay, hopefully I've got a couple of people joining. Alright, so if you're online, just let me know, give me a thumbs up to let me know that you can hear me, and I'll start my little session with the puppy. So just see that's good boy. Yeah, really good. Hey, yeah. Good boy. Hopefully I'm coming out live. Just give me a thumbs up to let me know that I'm coming out live. Oh, so that you can hear me. Good boy. Excellent. Alright, let's make a start then. So I'm just going to swipe that across. Okay. Hi everybody, good morning here from sunny UK, wherever you are joining me from. I'm going to do a little training session with the puppy and give you a little update about how he's getting on. Obviously, I did a live yesterday to introduce you to the puppy. His name is ATLAS. I'm not going to say it because we're going to work on that. In which I introduced him. He's here for residential training. He's here for a couple of weeks. And his primary issue is he has some reactivity concerns that I'm working on. His confidence around other dogs. He's 11 months old, really typical of that age where dogs can become problematic and long-term behavioural issues can certainly be established. So yesterday was really about just settling him in. We did that. He came into my home. He made himself comfortable. And he met my little dogs, and actually it went so well. He actually met the big dogs out on a walk yesterday. He was brilliant, had a really great time, super confident with them, which has been an issue. The benefit of my dogs in that scenario is my dogs are well versed with meeting other dogs. Now, I absolutely accept that in a lot of you, that's not going to be practicable or achievable based on the dogs that you meet. Hence why something like residential training, certainly with my dogs, is really, really beneficial for dogs of this that have these issues, because I can essentially socialise them with other dogs of different breeds, types, genders, etc., who are going to give the dog a positive experience. They're going to give him great communications they're going to create great communication between him and them, and vice versa. He's going to be able to meet small dogs, big dogs, male dogs, female dogs, entire dogs, castrated dogs, entire female dogs, spayed female dogs, so the whole spectrum of dogs, but all of them are going to give him a really nice, positive learning experience. It doesn't have to necessarily, some dogs are going to give him the cold shoulder, brilliant, fantastic lesson for him to learn that not all dogs want to engage with you. Some dogs are going to absolutely play with you. So actually I was dubious about mixing him with Swipe because of the same age. So they're both adolescent puppies. Male, which can sometimes be problematic. Actually, they were great together. They had a little play this morning, or a little beginning of playing, so I think they're going to actually be really good friends. He's a terrier, so he's quite robust. Good boy. And he was definitely up for some more vigorous play with the Schnauzer, so that was great to see. He's played a little bit with Sugar. He's been a little bit overzealous with Hottie, who's a 2-year-old Border Collie female, and she said, no, I don't like you doing that, because he was essentially following her on the walk a lot, and he was definitely being a bit too, invasive with her, and she said, no, I don't like you doing that, and he read that beautifully. She just air-snapped at him a couple of times, he read it beautifully, and he quickly changed his behaviour and ignored her, which was brilliant. She just did her own thing. So a great series of life lessons. My older dogs largely just ignored him, and he's ignored them. So I thought I would do a couple of little sessions. One of the big things that his owners have asked me to work on is his recall, because that's a non-existent. You can see even, good boy, he's much more confident with me. He's wanting to interact with me a little bit more. Yesterday he was very, very much on his own agenda, didn't want to interact with me, overawed by the situation, perfectly normal. So we're going to start working on his recall. He's quite foodie, which is a great asset, but I've got high value treats with me, cocktail sausages in this instance in my pocket. You can see he's showing interest in, and I'm going to see his reaction to toys to see if that's another avenue to approach training. So when you train dogs, certainly with reinforcement, first thing is to identify what does the dog find reinforcing. There's no point you using a reinforcer or what you think is a reinforcer that the dog doesn't want. It's counterproductive. So think about, good boy, using something the dog finds really, really appealing. Good boy. So he quite likes physical touch, which is a great thing to use. But in the big world, in the big wide world, that's probably not going to be able to combat to compete with, say, a squirrel or another dog, or etc., or the sights and sounds and other things. So whilst he loves to be engaged with, I need to be thinking about using reinforcement that can compete with the conflicting environment. Now, I'm not going to be able to use something that he finds 100%, maybe with him, I don't know yet. You might be able to find something that's sort of an 8 out of 10 for your dog, so you might stand a chance of using it with something that is really, really enticing. So think about, do your research, make sure you're doing your homework, I should say, with your own dog to identify what you find reinforcing. So I'm going to start to work on his recall, and I discussed yesterday about why I'm not using his name, because I suspect that's probably been a little bit desensitized. You're a good boy. So I'm going to train a new cue, and I'm going to classically condition it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. His owners also said that he's a little bit reluctant to put his harness on. He wore a harness yesterday, came with it. I took it off in the evening when he settled down, and I'm going to work on getting him comfortable with that. And I'm also, another big priority is loose lead walking. So I'm going to do 3 little simple things that you can do with your dogs, which are going to, if you have a dog that's just a pet dog, yeah, it's worth teaching these simple things to get your dog more manageable and hopefully easier to walk, etc. But also for dogs that have reactivity issues, something like loose lead walking, recall, and having the dog be able to be on a harness is going to be a huge asset to deal with those issues, okay? And just certainly for loose lead walking, all right? So first thing I'm going to do is work on it's classically condition the recall. So I'm going to retrain that completely, and I'm going to use a different term. So how I'm going to teach that is really, really simple. Not a lot of brain surgery with this one, but I'm simply going to say the new term, and I'm going to feed him. So he's going to associate that term or that cue with being fed. So he knows I've got food on him, so great response. I'm going to have him off the lead in this instance, and I can certainly do another exercise shortly to help him with his confidence of being handled, etc. And also I want to teach him another exercise, a collar grab, okay? So I'm going to have my treats in my hand, and I'm going to simply just say the new term and give him a treat. Good boy. With me. Good boy. So he doesn't even have to do anything. With me. Good boy. Good. With me. Good boy. Good. With me. Good boy. With me. Good. So all he's learning is that every time I say that phrase, he gets fed. With me. Good. Good boy. Right, so I'm going to ignore him for a second. So I've done half a dozen reps. This is the first instance I've done this session with him, so he has no recollection or no understanding of that cue as yet. So I'm going to let him sniff the ground a little bit. Okay, ignore him. Good boy. Off you go. Good boy. See if I can just wait him out, so hopefully he'll wander off. I doubt he will, because he's waiting in anticipation of the treat. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. With me. Good boy. So I just distracted him there with a bit of interaction. Good boy. Yay. Ah. With me. Good. Nice. Okay. I'm deliberately feeding him to the other side just so I can see if he registers that word. Good boy. Good. With me. Good. You can see a slight little response there where he froze and he went, oh, it's that word. That means there's food on the way. Okay. So classical conditioning, yeah, a great way to teach a dog a recall. Yeah, say the word, pair it with high value reinforcement, and then progress it from there. So I'm going to he's now waiting patiently, so I might have to give him a second to wander off. Good. I might move around a little bit. And pretend like I'm engaging with other stuff. Off you go, baby. Good boy. With me. Yes. Good. Off you go. So off you go. I'm going to just wander around. Again, start your training always in environments like I'm training in my living room. Not a lot of distractions, not a lot of enticing things on the floor. So I'm setting the puppy up for success, so he's clearly focused on me. With me. Yay, good. So I waited for him to lose interest. Good boy, and I fed him. Off you go. Good. Good. Yay, that was clever. That was super clever. Super clever. Good. He's a little bit, backs off a little bit when I put my hands on him. So he's sniffing away. I'm not going to call him back too quickly. I'm going to wait a little bit because he saw me go to my pocket. Good. So I'm going to do that a couple of times and just ignore him. So just back in my pocket a little bit. Let the puppy go off again. So let him wander. See if he'll go off sniffing. Good. I almost done that one. With me. Good. Nice. So again there, he's learning that new cue. Good boy. With me, where he hears that term or that cue and he comes racing back just to be fed. With me. Good. Good lad. Okay, so started that ball rolling. I'm going to now work on simultaneously another exercise. And I'm going to pop his harness on first. So I'm going to do that first. So his own stated that when they put the harness on, okay, he gets a bit hand shy. So what I'm going to do is shape him to, yes, good boy, put his head towards or in the harness, okay? So I'm not going to just stick it on his head. He has to step towards it. He's avoiding, okay? So I've got the food this side. Yes, good. So even if it's towards it but not directly towards it, I'm going to take that, okay? Yep, good. So I'm going to click him. Use a little clicker word there or a noise. So you can see he's definitely not comfortable. He's slightly pulling back. He's reluctant to come towards it. I hold the treats this side. Go in. Yes, good boy. Nice. So let's go again. Yes, super. Good boy. So, it's hard, isn't it? So. Makes a choice. He wants the food, which is really, really important. Using food or reinforcement that your dog really, really wants. Yes, good boy. So he stepped towards it, okay? So I would do a lot more sessions on that to get him comfortable, but I'm going to fast track it just for the purpose of demonstrating. Yeah, good. So I'm not going to, if he backs off, that's fine. So I'm going to just see if he'll, yeah, good. Yes, good. So you can see there him not wanting to put it on. That's okay. Let's see if we can get him more confident. Yes, good, good. So if he backs off, I stop feeding. That's okay. Yes, good. Let him back off. Good. So I'm going to actually... Yes. Good boy. Yes. Good. Get it. Throw away. So encouraging him to move away from the harness. Good. And then see if he comes back. Got it? Yes. Yes. Good. Let's throw away. Good boy. Good. Get it. Good boy. Wait him out. Come on. Come on. Good. Good. So it's just that pressure point when it starts to get close around his neck. So if that happens, okay, because the loops, what he's feeling is the tight, that enclosing around his neck, I'm going to just make it slightly easier. So I'm going to use my lead, okay, to create a larger loop, okay? So hopefully, where he can, if I just tuck that out of the way, come here, little man, just put that out of the way. So I'm going to create another loop. No, hang on, hang on. Good. Yes, good. Okay. So try again. Good boy. Yes. So yeah, good. So I'm using the yes as a generic marker word, and I'm being a bit. I'm not always feeding if he moves out of position. Now, if it was a clicker word, a distinct clicker word, I would absolutely keep that rule of you always getting marked. But I'm just shaping it at the moment. I'm not using a specific clicker word. I'm just using a general praise to give him an indication of what I want. Okay, so he moved away, so I'm going to bring him back. Yay, good boy. Yeah, super. Yay, good boy. Yay, good. So that'll do, good. So I'm going to stop there. Great little start for him. Obviously, I'll chip away at that over the next couple of days to get him confident, okay? So I will obviously have to put him on a harness at some point. What I'll probably do is pick him up, give him treats and pop it on his head, and then simultaneously work on him choosing to go in it when I hold it in front of him, okay? So there's always going to be scenarios where you need to, say, get your dog in the back of the vehicle. If you're shaping the dog to go in there or giving the dog the choice, there's going to be instances where you just need to take them out for a walk or take them to the vet, etc. In that instance, just pick the dog up, pop it in, feed it, so that you're not then undoing the dog making that decision to go in the into the harness or the car or etc. etc. Okay, so recall work, starting to classically conditioning him to respond to a new cue. Good boy. And I'm now going to do a little bit of work on loose lead walking. Okay, so I'm going to just do a little reminder of his recall cue. So hopefully he'll wander off. Off you go. Good boy. I'm going to give him a second where he just wanders off. He says, I'm not doing it because you have got treats. Good boy. With me. Yay, good boy. So he just glanced away there, and nice response to that new cue. Okay, so let's now fast track to pop him on the lead. Good. So, yes, good. So he's a little bit dubious about me touching his collar, so I'm going to do some work on that. Good. So treat. So yes, good boy. Nice. Good. Collar. Yes, good boy. Nice. Good. So touching his collar. Collar grabs. Yes, good boy. Now, ideally, I do this on a lead. Okay, so, but because he's a little bit, obviously, I would have put him on a lead ideally. In this scenario, I'm happy to do it off lead. I'm going to click the lead on him. Good. Yes, good boy. Feed. Good boy. Click the lead on. Good boy. I need to have that's it. Yes, good boy. Good. Nice. Okay. So, collar grabs, real basic skill that you want your puppy to be comfortable with. Yes. Where you touch the collar and you feed. So what often people do is feed first and then touch the collar. Good boy. Yeah, you would want to do it the other way around. So touch, so the dog associates with the touching of the collar and something good happening. When you touch the collar, don't let go of the dog's collar whilst you feed it, okay? So touch the collar, feed the puppy, okay? You can put a cue on it if you want to. So you can say, collar, yes, good boy, okay? Collar, yes, good boy, yeah? So if you watch, I'm sliding my hand down the lead, yes. So I know that I'm always going to make contact with that collar. So again, this is another precursor to a recall. Okay, good boy. So I'm going to move him round. Come in. So I'm going to add my recall cue. Good boy. Give me a pop. With me. Yes, good boy. Okay, so that means all sorts of things where I want to touch his collar. I'm preparing for when I take him out for a walk. I can do a collar grab when I get him back and put him on a lead, or I can take him home, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so let's move around. Come in. With me. Yay, good boy, super. Good boy. So I might even I can also use my other cue, which means I need to grab your collar. So collar, yes, good boy. Good, okay. Let's do that again, yay. Good, wandering round. Good, so with me. Yay, super. Good boy, nice one. Good boy. So to get him to go away from me, I'm going to just throw a treat off. Okay, and then I'm going to get him to come back. So get it. With me. Yay. Super. Well done. That was really good. Let's do another one. So if you watch when I throw, I always give him permission to leave me. Get it. With me. Yay. Feed. Good boy. Super. Yay. Good boy. That was really clever. Good. Okay. So starting off his recall via classically conditioning him to respond to a specific cue, collar grabs, getting him to come back so I can touch his collar, and also starting to desensitize him or getting him, counter conditioning him to his harness being put on him. So a combination of all those things is going to build his confidence and be able to get him back over a park and make sure that he's safe. Now, parallel to that, I'm going to start to work on, loose lead walking. Now, I would ideally, and this is something that often people do, is they may have started to teach their dogs to pull on the lead based on the equipment they have on the dog. So for example, if your dog is on a collar, you haven't done the groundwork to teach it to walk on a loose lead, and they've learnt to pull into a collar, my advice is use a harness to teach them to walk on a nice loose lead, okay? And alternatively, which in his scenario is definitely the case, if he's primarily worn a harness and he's learnt to pull in that, the harness is the equipment that allows him to pull, but when he's on a flat collar, he has to walk nicely on a loose lead. So I would always start this with a puppy or a dog in a controlled environment. Classic mistake that people make is they try and teach loose lead walking in a busy environment where there's lots of distractions, and all you do is further compound the problem. So I'm going to do loose lead walking, and I'm going to show you how I teach it, and actually it's follow on from those foundation recall games, in which I'm going to do what I call the magnet game, where the goal is to have the dog gravitate towards me and make the lead loose in order to get reinforced. And I'll show you that with him, okay? So, simple. All I do is have my lead loose, okay? And I'm going to stand near the puppy, okay? And I'm going to do my little collar grab game. So, touch, feed, okay? Good, let's do another one. Touch, good, feed, good boy, all right? So now I'm going to just move away from him, and if he gravitates towards me or comes towards me, I'm going to click him. Yes, good boy. Grab, feed. Now obviously I can drop my lead in this scenario because he's in a controlled environment, doesn't matter. when you're practicing the skill, it is an art to hold the lead and move and your hands, etc. And you need that little bit of mechanics to alleviate that from the equation. Just do it in an environment where you don't have that as a challenge. The dog's not going to run off, okay? So I'm going to move away again. Yes. Collar grab, feed. Good boy. So all he's learning is that if he comes to where I am, okay, he will get reinforcement. Okay, so I'm going to reload my food. Okay, so I'm going to move away. Yes. Okay, and I'm not looking for a lot. I'm just looking for a step. Okay, so yes. Good. Nice. I'm gonna. Don't always have to grab him. I can just feed him. Yes. Good. Nice boy. Okay. Yes. Good boy. Nice. Yep. Good. Nice. I'm getting the response that I want, so I'm now going to start to click it. Yep. Nice. Okay. Yep. Good. So all he's doing now, yep, is walking with me as I move 1 or 2 steps. And now I'm going to build it. So I don't have any food in my hand. Okay. And I'm going to move away first in a triangle. So he did, yep, good. So he hesitated there. I waited him out, and he came towards me. So I'm now going to go the other direction, the little triangle. So over here. Yep, good. So I don't care at this stage which side he's on, okay? As long as he's magnetizing towards me. So good. Yep, good. Okay, good. So now I'm going to start to be more specific, okay, and reward him on my left-hand side. Good boy, okay? Good. Nice, good, okay? So I'm going to move over here. Good. Yep, good. Good, so I've got no food in my hand. Good boy. Yep, good. Yeah, so he's never done that lesson before, and you can see how quickly he's working out that there's benefit in staying with me. He's doing a very good impression of an obedience dog there. Come on in. Good boy. Good. So good. So I can change my. Yep. Good. Nice boy. Feeding on the left-hand side. Yep. Where I want him to be, or the right. It doesn't really matter. Let's do it this side. Yep. Good. Okay. Same thing applies. So he goes to that side. All I do is just change my body language back. Good boy. We'll go a bit slower to help him. Good. So it may be that you want your dog to walk on sometimes on the left and sometimes, good boy, and on the right. Certainly if you have a reactive dog, okay, we want to be able to change sides of them because, for example, if I had him on my left, okay, and bearing in mind the camera's flipped, if I had him on, this is my left side, because the camera's doing it towards me. If somebody was coming towards me on that side and I wanted the dog to move to the opposite side, I can do that by just changing on him. So he's here, okay, and I can just step into the dog and move to this side, and now I can block him from another dog passing me. So it's a good skill to teach your dog to walk on both sides. Good. Yay, good boy. So now, good boy. Come on in. That's it. So, good. I'm going to move around a little bit. So he's just keeping that lead loose. Good. And anywhere I go, he understands to stay with me. So, sufficient for his first lesson. He did brilliantly, super easy, controlled environment. He's not going to go wrong. Nothing to draw his attention. The progression would be to take him to a new location and repeat that. So simultaneously to that, good boy. I'm also going to see, lead off you go, what he's like to toys, because that might be another avenue to teach him and build his confidence. Good boy. So I've got a couple of little toys with me. One's a little chaser toy. And as a terrier, yeah, that's going to work really, really nicely. Where is it? Good. Boy, nice. And that allows me, a little bit of tugging, to play something that can be really useful for confidence and in reinforcement. So I can start to, good boy, yeah, build more excitement into him racing back to me. Yeah, good boy. Good. Good. Whoa. Good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Super boy. Boy's good. Whoa. Yeah, you got it. Good boy. So he's unlikely to bring it back at this stage. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Which I don't know if he has that skill or not. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good boy. So, good. Let's take now switch to the food. Good. So we've got treats up here. Get that tug. Wait, good. So I'm going to teach him to let go. Thank you. Good. 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 Get it. Yeah. Good boy. So also teaching him to let go on cue. Thank you. Good. So I don't move it, I feed him away. Hey, hit that one. Good. Good. Wait for him to pause. Good. Move it a little bit. Good boy. Good. Get it! Yeah! And then activating the toy again to make it super interesting. Oh, that's it. Go on. Oh, right. Good boy. I'm going to ask him to release again. Oh, the treats on the ground. No, steady. Thank you. Good boy. Super. So just switching it for treats. Good boy. You can have that bit. Good boy. Moving it around so he does. If he grabs it, I wait for a choice. Yay, good boy. So he offered a sit. That's brilliant. Good. Nice. Clever. So if he grabs it, I wait. Good. Nice. Super. Good. Good boy. So he's offering me an SIT. Good. Get it. Yeah. Nice. So play again. And then ask him to let go. So what I'm doing is instantaneously saying that word, that cue, and putting the treat on his nose. So he's getting classical conditioning where he's predicting that whenever he says that word, there's a treat that turns up on his nose, and I'll progress it, okay? Good boy. Thank you. Good. Nice. Good. Feed him here. Good. Super. There you go. Good boy. So I'm going to wait for him to offer me a behaviour that I like before I play again. Get it? Nice. So I don't mind what it is. Good boy. Super. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Good. Okay, let's try it. Ready? Good. Right. Thank you. Good. So see how smart he is? He's already worked out if he lets go and offers good. Get it? Nice. Good boy. Super. Good. Good. Thank you. Get it? Nice. Good boy. Super. So, really, really good little sessions. Good boy. You can have it. Well done. Starting him off. Again, working on my relationship with him gives me another opportunity as to use a toy as a reinforcer rather than food. Working on his recall, beginning with his recall. Working on collar grabs. Working on his harness. Getting his confidence with the harness. Shaping him to let go of a toy on cue. Working on play. And loosely walking. So loads in this session for him. Plenty to get his teeth into to start off with. I will probably do a live later on, out with the big dogs, starting to implement that new cue on a recall and see how I get on. And I'll talk through the moments when I do it to get the best response. You're a good boy, aren't you? Good. All right, any questions by all means ask. Let's have a quick look. You're good. That was really good for the session. What a good boy you are. Good. Okay. Good boy, aren't you? Much more happy today. Much more happy today. Much more happy today. Much more happy today. Good boy, that's all good. Let's have a look. What do you think is best for a new puppy, harness or collar, 8 weeks old? So, I would suggest putting the puppy on a harness. Just be mindful with harnesses that you can create the puppy front loading. So I tend to use a harness on my puppies when they don't understand to walk on a loose lead. So for me, I want my dogs to pull into a harness. For some of the sports that I do, so tracking, protection, you want the dog to pull. So it's a great way to teach them that it's acceptable to pull into a harness. Simultaneously, I'll then teach them to loosely walk or essentially not pull in the collar, flat collar. So you can run the two things parallel, okay? What do you think? Okay, so amazing in just a few hours, different, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a great little puppy. I mean, he's super responsive and he's into food, which is a huge asset, and clearly into toys. As a terrier, you tend to find that, you know, they're definitely going to react to a toy. You're a good boy, and I still want to keep doing. Good. That voice, why? So I use a voice just because of interacting, makes it more interesting for the puppy. You know, dogs are great, are very responsive to different sounds and tones, so being able to create different inflections in your voice gets a better response from them, yeah? And it creates different, it creates clarity with your cues. So if I was just to use a flat monotone voice or tone for everything, all my cues are going to get mixed up. So if I can create inflections and different sounds and make it sound differently, that will create more clarity for the dog, okay? Okay. 8 8-month-old German Shepherd that doesn't respond to its name. So first off, don't overuse the name. I have, as I explained yesterday, household names. So I call him Puppy around the house. If I just go pup, pup, if I want his attention, and encourage him to come with me. But if I was to use his name, it would be always paired with some form of reinforcement, or ensuring that the dog responds to me. If need be, leave a lead training on your puppy so you can manage it and move it from one space to another. Good boy. So then you don't have to frivolously call it, and go back and do some work on name response. So I will show you that really quickly with him, okay, to redo his name response. So, good enough. Hey, look, man, let's get some treats. I love this toy. Okay, so I'm going to pop him back on the lead. And again, it actually, good boy, yeah, good boy. It's a follow-on from what we were doing with our collar grab and, good boy. Yeah, good boy. It's a follow-on from our collar grab. Hey, pup, good boy. Lead on. Good. Lead goes on. Yay, good. Feed puppy. So, same thing again. So I'm going to actually use his name in this instance. So, same exactly as I did with the collar grab and exactly as I did with his recall cue, I'm going to use his name, okay? Atlas. Yes, good boy. Atlas. Yay, good boy. Nice. Atlas. Yay, good boy. So again, retuning his response to Atlas. Yeah, good. To his name. The other thing I can do, similarly to my recall cue, okay, is I can say, get it. Atlas. Yeah. Grab. Nice boy, super. Yeah, and teaching him to respond to that name. Same thing again, just reprogram the pup's association to his name being positive and something good's going to happen. Well done. Good. Off you go. That's it. Good. Okay. Any questions? Okay, hopefully that's been helpful. Another little session there with the puppy, working on those core skills that he came to me for help with. And also working on his confidence and therefore his reactivity issues. I'll show you some of the stuff that he's been doing with other dogs. Why are you grabbing the collar? So grabbing the collar grabs are a great thing to teach your puppy. For handling. So if you take your puppy to a vet, handled by a second person. If I want to get her back on a walk, I want to be able to grab my dog's collar, pop it on a lead, and the dog not think that's a negative. Often people will grab the dog's collar, put it on a lead, and then go home and the dog sees that as a negative because all the fun's stopping, and that can very quickly be problematic. So incidentally, last week I had a puppy, a Malinois puppy for a lesson, and he hadn't had any collar grabs, and he was 14 weeks old, and he had a really, really, really strong response to me touching his collar, and very, very typical Malinois, a real Maligator response. And we worked on counter-conditioning that and desensitizing him to hands going towards him, because again his response was to bite, and although he was a puppy at this stage, whilst it was very severe and extreme, fast track a year down the line, that could be really, really, really problematic. So again, and if we want to be able to manage him, move him, restrict him, hold him, guide him, etc. We want the dog to be comfortable with our hands going towards them. All right, hope that's answered your question. Okay, hopefully that's been helpful. As I said, I'll do a session later on with me out on a walk with the puppy and my other dogs to see how and what progress we can make. And be doing several other sessions with him throughout the time that I've got him. All right, everybody, have a good day. Enjoy your Monday. Take care.